Welcome to Dodgers Dogs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network. Casey Porter, Mark Watkins here, still celebrating, especially we can continue to celebrate all the way through the off day of the 2 out of 3 against the San Diego Padres at Petco Park. That was fun.
Sure was, yeah. I mean, anytime you can beat the Padres, especially in their own park, that's huge. So it's crazy they hadn't played the Padres till this late into the year. But they Dodgers weren't even at full strength, and so to go into San Diego and win 2 out of 3 is just awesome. And
especially in a period when you kind of go back to the beginning of May, it's just been kind of win a game, lose a game, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, their record since the beginning of May has been 20-18, so they've pretty much kind of been treading water. Obviously, they're dealing with a lot of injuries, particularly on the pitching staff. So just can't wait to get those guys back, obviously. And I think that once they do, they'll start, distancing themselves, I hope, from the other teams in the division.
Yeah, totally about that. And the thing about it is, hey, you got this big-time payroll, you've got all this money invested, then you have all the injuries, so there's kind of that combat between, okay, so should the Dodgers be like a 500 team with all the injuries, or are they actually kind of overachieving with all the injuries? There's kind of that battle between, is this an overachievement to this point to stay afloat, or is this, hey, we're the Dodgers, we have $1 billion payroll, it shouldn't matter. There's kind of that battle between those two.
Yeah, I guess you could say that's true. I mean, people just expected them to run away with everything, regardless, just because of all the money they do have invested. But I guess I don't think it's really that realistic. In my mind, they've kind of overachieved in a way, just because of so many injuries that they've had.
Yeah, especially when you look at the rotation in San Diego. I mean, you're talking day to day. This is like, like you have your bills, and if you're good enough and you've saved well enough, or you've had a good enough job or whatever, you can kind of put a nest egg back to where you're not living what's called day to day.
Right.
So that's what you would like. You would like to have the depth in your system, not to go from paycheck to paycheck, right? But the Dodgers right now, they're going day to day. In the real world, you can call that they're going from paycheck to paycheck, and all you need to know as far as proof for that is how they did the patchwork pitching for this last weekend.
Right. Yeah. Fortunately, they do have a lot of depth. I think their young pitchers, it seems like last year they seem to be more successful than they've been for the most part this year. Landon Knack and guys like that, Robleski and some other guys not pitched quite as well as they did last year, but hopefully, they'll come around. And they have a couple other young guys that are almost ready in the minor leagues, like Nick Frasso and Emmett Sheehan are kind of working their way back, and I could see them possibly helping later in the year too.
Yeah, and another good thing, it's good to say, hey, one thing that needs to happen here while the Dodgers are trying to figure out their pitching, I talked about this last night with Austin on our live Dodgers Dogs show, the offense has to get it going. And I'll say this, Will Smith has been awesome, Freddie Freeman's been awesomer, Shohei Ohtani has been Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts has been better offensively. Andy Pages has done is he's lengthened the lineup. He's made it to where we're not just so dominant heavy at the top. We have a top and a middle and a bottom now. Tommy Edman, he hasn't been great offensively since he got back from the injury, but still a very, very, very good player. So one thing that has to happen to stay afloat, the Dodgers have to start playing offense like they're capable of playing. There's a lot of injuries, but they're not necessarily on the position player side. The Dodgers do have their position players intact. So this offense really needs to get it going. A big part of that is Max Muncy and Teo Hernandez. Muncy's been better lately, and it was just great to see Teo hit that home run yesterday.
Absolutely. It seems like they just haven't really gotten it together, even though they've been scoring a fair amount of runs, averaging a good amount of runs. They seem like they
but it's a lot little. It's that roller coaster.
Yeah. It's like they really haven't started clicking. They haven't had enough guys hot at the same time. And right now, Ohtani's been, kind of slumping a little bit. Teo was until yesterday. So if they can get in a position where they have, at least 6 or 7 guys that are in a decent roll, I guess you could say, then that would be huge. And I think that'll happen. I mean, it happens every year. So they just too many guys going through little slumps right now.
I think another big key to creating consistency with this offense is either getting Michael Conforto going. He hit the big home run the other day. He had the base hit the 8th inning. He had a go-ahead hit last week in a big game. All the games have run together, and I haven't been able to completely follow them the way I normally do. So Forgive me if I don't remember the exact situation. But I do remember him hitting a go-ahead hit into left field. He had the hit in the 8th inning the other day. He had the home run to tie the game yesterday for the Dodgers. So to create consistency, obviously you need Teo, you need Max. Then you need either Michael Conforto to figure things out on a consistent basis, or you need the Dodgers to move on from him and find somebody else who can figure it out to create consistency in that spot. So kind of am I being a little bit too harsh there? Is that pretty fair? You think that's fair, or where are you at there?
No, I mean, we've all been waiting for Michael Conforto to get on a roll, and he's started to contribute more lately. Obviously, as you mentioned, he's had some big hits lately. So hopefully it's the start of something good. But as you said, if he kind of hits another downtrend, I guess you could say, then they need to look at other options. And Kim could obviously be that guy, that takes a lot of his at bats away, because he's been doing great. I still kind of suspect that pitchers have a way of finding weaknesses, and Kim's not going to continue to hit 400, of course, but he's shown that he can make adjustments, which is good. So he's off to a great start in his career.
He is. Did not have a great day yesterday necessarily. Needs to put that ball in his back pocket, trying to turn too, no doubt about that. He will learn all those things. Just young kid trying to make a play. You see that so many different times. He's a pleaser. He wants everybody to be happy with him. He wants things to work out. Sometimes that happens. But I'll tell you what, the Dodgers absolutely 1,000% don't win, maybe not any game in this series, if the bullpen wasn't just absolutely awesome.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, there's some guys who really stepped up and had a great series. Ben Kasparius yesterday was fantastic, and they have several other guys like Scott is coming around. He's been pitching well. Yates pitched very well. Who else am I forgetting? Kopech,
Alex Vesia, Anthony Bonda, guys like that.
Yeah. Vesia was great. It was great to see him get so pumped up. Last night. That was great.
And then don't forget my boy Lou Trevino.
Yeah, Lou Trevino. Right, yeah, he's been. They turned him around. Trevino's been doing a great job for him.
Absolutely has. So Tanner Scott's kind of an interesting enigma. Some early results where Dodgers fans were kind of freaking out about it, and then some good results and just kind of some back and forth. At this point, is he the Tanner Scott we thought we were getting?
He looks like he's getting there. Yeah, I mean, he obviously went through some struggles and wasn't like he has been in the past. And, I mean, obviously that's cause for concern, as a lot of Dodger fans tend to freak out, and
yeah, me included. When we say Dodgers fans, that's us included. Right,
yeah. And we sometimes we forget how lucky we are to be Dodger fans with a talent level they have in this team. But, he looks like he's coming around. He's getting back to where he was last year. He seems more confident on the mound, and he's like just kind of letting it fly and not trying to be so careful with his pitches, it seems like.
I say this with all sincerity, but how many games back of first place right now would the Dodgers be without Ben Kasparius? I mean, seriously, they might be 3 or 4 games back without this dude.
Yeah, I mean, he may be the MVP of the pitching staff in a way when you think about it. I mean, Yamamoto has obviously been huge, but other than him, I mean, Kasparius has filled a variety of roles, and he's been huge for him. And he's, I don't know, we talked about that on the last podcast, but we don't know what his ceiling is, but he sure looks like he has a pretty high ceiling at this point.
Yeah, talk about high ceilings. Andy Paez, 99-mile-an-hour throw home. I think Austin said last night that was the highest velocity throw in the StatCast era for the Dodgers. Not only that, the accuracy of it, and then Will Smith just doing a great job of putting the tag on Andy Pages. He isn't striking out. He's making good swing decisions. Seems like even when he's making outs, he's hitting the ball hard, and the other team's having to make like a really nice play on him to get him out. Andy Pages has just been a joy to watch grow up right in front of our eyes. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say this very point blank. This is better baseball than he's played ever, even at any point in his minor leagues, offensively and defensively. This is the best version I've ever seen of Andy Pages.
He's been phenomenal, and he just seems to be getting better and better. And I think a lot of guys are kind of taking him under their wing, like Teo and everybody, and really helping him out and helping him progress. And he's been phenomenal offensively and defensively this year. I was looking at his numbers comparing to Jackson Merrill, because Jackson Merrill is so hyped, and he just signed a huge contract, and Pages has a much higher WAR, higher OPS plus, and obviously Jackson Merrill just got a huge contract. So it's exciting to see, though. He's doing it all. Very good defensively. Obviously, like you talked about, that play at the plate was amazing. He just has a shotgun for an arm.
He does.
So it's fun to watch.
Does.
Yeah.
So talk about reinforcements. We talked about all of them, maybe the reinforcements at Oklahoma City and Tulsa last night extensively on our Dodgers Dawgs show. But one reinforcement that I don't think is getting talked about enough is Shohei Ohtani. He's throwing bullpens now. If you can throw that dude in your – I know there's a lot of people that are like, screw it, I don't want him hurt. I want the offense from him. I don't even want him to pitch, this and that. But again, I think that just numbers-wise, getting that 14th pitcher is huge, because that relieves some stress. It allows you to have six-man rotation and then your full complement of 8 arms in the bullpen that you need. So, man, what if you can at some point get Shohei Ohtani anywhere as close to the top of his game pitching-wise, that would be a massive game changer right there around the trade deadline.
Yes, I sometimes I think about the future of the staff and what it could be down the stretch and in the playoffs. And I sometimes actually forget about Ohtani because, it's been so long.
I do too. That's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. But he would be a huge boost. I was kind of on the fence at the beginning of this year. Like maybe we don't want him to pitch, because do we want to take the chance on him getting hurt and not being able to contribute offensively? But with the way the pitching injuries have gone and everything, and it would be huge to have him down the stretch and in the playoffs. So it's exciting.
Man, we have a big down the farm segment. Going to get to my boy Eric Swan, young man out of Middle Tennessee State. I had an interview with him last year. Just awesome young man, incredibly talented. He has some of the most electric arm talent that you'll ever want to see. We're going to get to see Ronaldo Yeen. We're going to see Elijah Hainline. We're going to get to see all sorts of stuff on our Down on the Farm segment. So we have a lot to get to. Final thoughts before we get to Down on the Farm.
Well, as I said, the Dodgers are kind of treading water, and they're in the heart of some key games here between the Padres and the Giants. So, but they're off to a good start, taking 2 out of 3 from the Padres. So, hoping for good things, against while they're in this stretch, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right to it. Let's take a trip down on the farm. Eric Swan, last 2 outings, 6 innings each. Outing prior, he had a no-hit 6-inning outing and was part of the combined shutout for the Great Lakes Loons. Yesterday, again, 6 innings, 1 run, was totally dominant. Eric Swan has helium right now, Mark.
Right. Yeah. He's, I was just watching him pitch in the clips that you shared, and he looks like he has really great stuff. I mean, he has a good, looks like a good sinker and good cutter. So he's looking great.
Fastball that has reached 102, 103 in games. So this is absolutely a power arm. Of course, with all these young guys, it's going to come down to the execution, and the execution has absolutely improved substantially. Now, there's one thing to say you have execution that's getting better. It's another thing to say that your execution is getting better consistently over a long period of time. So we've seen that Eric Swan has cleaned up the execution. Now can he do it consistently over a long period of time? I think that's the waiting game for him. Another young power arm that is totally underrated in the system, Jason Cabrera. The last time, not this post, but the post prior to this, before I went down for a couple weeks, he hit 100 miles an hour. This is a 100-mile-an-hour arm out of the bullpen that nobody knows about, Jason Cabrera.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. The Dodgers have a lot of guys now. It seems that are, throwing 100 miles an hour, and he's one that was definitely under the radar for me. But I think he's, like 6 out of the last 7 outings he's had scoreless outings. So he looks like he's really coming on strong.
He absolutely is. His younger. I say younger because his younger brother's huge. Felix Cabrera. You're going to get to see him next week at Rancho, because Felix's brother pitches for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, a big lefty. So you will really enjoy that. I'll tell you, there was a story last year where, actually a couple of years ago, where the Dodgers turned a position player into a pitcher, and that was Sauron Lau. I don't know if you remember that name or not, but Sauron Lau.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he transitioned to pitcher. And I got to see him in Tulsa. I was like, oh, dang, Sauron Lau is really, really, really freaking good. I didn't realize how good this guy was. Next thing you know, he gets moved over. Now he's knocking on the major leagues as a pitcher.
Right.
This is a very similar situation to me. Now, it wasn't from position player to pitcher. You're looking at Jermaine Rosario. But it was from starter to reliever. Jermaine Rosario was one of those guys we'd always talk about. He would have a great outing, and then he would have a stinker. Great outing, stinker. Just could never create that consistency. Mm-hmm. So I think the move to the bullpen, Mark, is going to take his stuff, which has always been plus. He's going to be able to max out. He's not going to have to conserve. And I think within the next year or so, people are going to be going, who the hell is Jermaine Rosario? I'm really that excited about him.
Yeah, that definitely does help a lot of, some guys a lot, moving to the bullpen and just being able to focus on just maxing out, and they don't have to, have an arsenal of 4 or 5 pitches or whatever. They can just focus on,
look at that maybe ball. That's big time. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe focus on 2 main pitches that they have, and just go max effort. So it looks like that's kind of the case with him, where he's been able to do that.
Yep. Live arm, really electric breaking stuff. And again, it's all about that's just the execution piece. And I know you're really high on this young man. Through last night, Chris Campos. He has not been as maybe refined and just spot on as he was this time last year, but Chris Campos still having a really good year, still has a lot of forward momentum.
Right. He looked like he was definitely on the fast track last year, but it's a huge jump to go, from high A to double A. So he's making that jump, and it takes a while to adjust for a lot of guys, but he looks like he's starting to do that because his last outing, he was really good. So hopefully he's kind of found it, and he'll progress from here.
I will be very surprised as the weather warms up if Chris Campos' execution doesn't get right back on to spot on. And you talk about a young man that knows how to execute. The most under the radar pitcher in the system, hands down, Jack Little.
Jack Little, yeah, he's a guy that I kind of wonder if he could end up helping the Dodgers even this year at some point. But yeah, he's been stringing some really good performances together, and it looks like he has some great, kind of a different type of delivery. But he looks like he has some really good stuff.
Yep, 10 saves on the year, ERA 2.35. So great to see Jack Little, again, the most under radar pitcher that we have. And then Hunter Fiducia had 3 hits yesterday, which is always a great thing to see. And another guy that I know he's been at the front of Dodgers' minds in the past, but he's been very injury prone, which is something Dodgers fans are kind of weary of, very weary of right now. But I think he's pitching the best that he has all year, and that would be this young man, Nick Frasso. What do you think about him?
Right. I mean, he's another guy who they were, obviously have been very high on, but he's suffered some injury problems. The way his delivery is kind of awkward too. Like he looks like he's fallen off a cliff there or something, but he's very gangly too. But yeah, he has great stuff, and I'm sure just from the way he throws pitches, it's very deceptive for the hitter.
100%. And then Emmett Sheehan can't get him back fast enough. Cannot get Emmett Sheehan back fast enough. This dude, he has that ride and run fastball. I love this guy.
Absolutely, yeah. He made some good starts for the Dodgers last year, so hopefully he can, once he's rehabbed, he can get back in the mix and help him out again.
100%, and in any way, shape, or form. One of those guys that probably could be a starter, like the Ben Kasparius thing. He could be a guy that could be a multi-inning relief type of guy. So obviously, anytime you have that type of power arm like he has with the movement that he gets on his pitches, it's a guy that you really need to get back. And then this guy right here maybe has been the best player in the entire system in the minor leagues all year. I am not kidding. Eduardo Quintero, he has been just phenomenal this year for the Quakes.
Yeah, he has been. I was reading an article about him and how I think it was 2 or 3 years in a row that he's won the championship since he started in the Dodgers system, like Dominican League. And
oh, really?
Cool. Yeah. So he's just been great every year since he's came on. He obviously has power, speed, good defensively. He's an exciting player, definitely on the fast track for him for sure.
Leads the Cal League in home runs. He's right up there, right behind his teammate Jaron Elkins, who we're going to talk about now, in stolen bases. So a very dynamic player. Talk about a dynamic player. I know you went and saw him in person. You fell in love with Jaron Elkins.
Yeah, he's just super athletic. He has that really athletic build, and he can do it all. And he's just getting better and better as the year's going along. And he has great speed. He has over 30 steals. I know he has power. He drives the ball well. So yeah, he's a really exciting player to watch.
So hopefully we're going to get you sent back to Rancho next week. Get some nice live footage of these wonderful young players with the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Hopefully get multiple interviews with some select guys. That'll be a lot of fun. Are you looking forward to that, Mark?
Absolutely, yes. Can't wait. So I've only been out once this year, so looking forward to getting out there again and doing some interviews with some of the players and maybe even the manager. I'm going to try too. So we'll see how that goes.
You'll be shocked at how once you dive into the minor leagues and you get to see the process up close and personal, you'll still love watching the LA games, but you'll start rooting for these guys and you'll start like paying attention to the minor leagues.
Right.
Probably more because there's 4 teams, right? Probably more overall than you do the major league team. It just happens to you. It's hard to explain. But when you get around these guys and you actually see their process with your own eyes, it gets very addictive. So I'm excited for that process for you.
Yeah, I feel like I've been following the minor leagues for years, but I'm kind of already starting to get there. I think it's fun I was around them a little bit, and the last time I went, I got to talk to a couple of the players and stuff. And so, yeah, it's exciting to just see them grow and develop. That's a fun part of the game.
Well, Mark, this has been a lot of fun. I haven't got a chance to talk to you in a while, so it's been a lot of fun getting to talk to you again.
Definitely.
Final thoughts before we get out of here.
As you mentioned, just looking forward to next week, getting out there and seeing some of the young Quakes players and looking forward to seeing what the Dodgers do against the Giants. They still haven't played them all year, so that'll be fun to see. And hopefully, as I said, the Dodgers will get on a roll here soon and put some distance between them and the other teams in the division. Are the Giants contenders or pretenders? I tend to think they're more pretenders. I think they've kind of been winning. Hot take for Mark Watkins. Taking a shot there, right? Okay, yeah. Fantastic. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of smoke and mirrors right now, but we'll see. We'll see if they can hang in there and still be there in contention in the end. Hey, you'd be proud if they put that up as bulletin board in their visitors' locker room, wouldn't you? Hey, Mark Watkins says the Giants are pretenders. It's been done with smoke and mirrors, right? That's your take of the hot take of the day right there. Yeah. Right? Well, sometimes it comes down to depth, and I don't know how much their depth has been tested. So we know the Dodgers have. Their depth has definitely been tested, but we'll see how it goes. Of course, if the Dodgers get swept this weekend, we're all going to blame you now. You really realize that now, right? Well, I'm trying not to get too worked up about these early series. Like with the Padres, I was thinking, the Dodgers take at least 1 out of 3. It's not so bad considering the position they're in, with all the injuries and such. But so, it's great to see them take 2 out of 3. No doubt. In San Diego. No doubt. Hey, Mark, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you joining. Yeah, always fun to chat with you, Casey, and we appreciate everybody. I haven't mentioned this before, but everybody who's watching, and we'd love to see you comment and in the on the podcast. We'd love to see that.
No doubt, that only makes our podcast better. You comment, tell us what you want. We can make this more fan geared and make it exactly what you want. So, hey, you Dodgers dogs are the absolute best out there. It's not the biggest crowd, but it is the smartest and best baseball crowd on earth. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So until next time, which will be tomorrow with Coach Holt, I do believe we may do a show tomorrow, may not with the off day. It may be Saturday. So just, hey, turn your notifications on and we'll see. So until next time, which is either Friday or Saturday, have a great day. It's a great day to be a Dodger.